I'm having a bit of a moment of doubt about this this warp, this set. It was like, well, you can see how far I got with putting the yarn through the reed. Sorry, the hay fever is strong today. I haven't taken a tablet. And I was like looking, even just, you know, at the minute I'm just going through every other, and then like when it gets pulled through at the front beam, I'll then like redo it so it's going in every one, which doesn't seem like a very efficient way to do this. I kind of forgot how to warp up the rigid heddle, so don't shout at me. Like I'm just doing. But yeah, it looks really close. So I just had a look at the compared the set ends per inch of the rigid heddle to the big loom, table loom. And yeah, this is like, I'm gonna give it in 5 centimeters because I was really struggling to count an inch. You know, like it was, anyway. Oh god, my brain is not not working today. The rigid heddle is 26 ends per 5 centimeters. The big loom is more like 21, 22. And I was just looking at like the cushion, which I suppose is acting as inspiration right now. So this was done on the 4-shaft table loom, and you see like this section here. So effectively I want this to be a balanced weave, balanced plain weave. And I feel like this section can cope with having more ends per inch in the warp based on how I was kind of like using the weft. because this is matching weft. Like the yarn is the same in the warp and the weft, that's what I'm trying to say. But in this section here, I don't know, like it feels like this is balanced, and if my warp has more ends per inch, then the yarn that I'm spinning, so this is some other hand spun, the yarn I'm spinning is going to have to be thinner. I don't really like spinning thin, so I'm really just questioning everything. But I should look at this as well, because this was my other like inspiration. So this is the same set as the cushion, because this came off, this is done on the foreshaft as well. But you see how like it's far from being balanced. Like the way that I was doing this one, the weft is like deliberately chunky. Like you know how, you know what like a classic like cotton rag rug type rug looks like, where you've got like really thick dense weft that like doesn't go up and down, like it just travels straight across, and then it's warp like travels around it like that. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying to play around with that as a texture as well, and I'm slightly worried that this effect with a more dense set would mean that you would see more of the warp than the weft. So I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those days where everything I'm trying, I'm just then like hitting a wall, and I just don't have it in me to like solve all of these problems. But I don't know, maybe I should just finish it. Although that's a hell of a big warp. It's like 4.5 meters worth of warp. I really don't want to waste. So I'm going to pause and maybe go for a walk, or just go do something else. Because yeah, wow, brain is not here today. Good morning, it is Wednesday. Yep, it's Wednesday. I I thought I would jump on and sort of reflect on what happened yesterday. I kind of had a minute with my journal to sort of try and process things, and to sort of try and understand what happened, and then I guess plan better for the coming days. So we've run out of coffee, so this is without any morning coffee. So yeah, yesterday just felt like one of those days where I just kept starting something and then hitting a roadblock and just not feeling like it, not feeling like I could solve the problem, and then I switched to something else, and then that would, like, it was just a repeating pattern. And yeah, it feels like it's, I don't know, sometimes you just have days like that. And I think it's like when you're actually trying to be creative, when you're trying to, do creative work, it's not that you can just like, at any moment just go, okay, right now, today, we're going to be productive, we're going to be creative, we're going to make something amazing. Like, it just doesn't happen. I'm a big believer in what I sort of hear people talk about, like, even though that's the case, you still kind of have to show up, like, every day. It's that thing of, like, I feel like you hear a lot about it with, like, writers, that, like, they don't always know what to write, or they can find themselves just staring at a blank piece of paper. But I feel like their tactic I hear, is sort of, but every day you've just got to turn up and try and write, like, and that eventually something will happen, or that you're building that habit, and that you just, if you wait till you feel like it, you're never going to feel like it. So that's what I tried to do yesterday, and just sort of try, like, I tried the spinning, that didn't feel right, tried the loom, we'll get into it. One thing that I realised that I didn't actually, like, I didn't film or share yesterday, was I actually spent the morning trying to make bread. So this was like, we're experimenting with making gluten-free bread right now. My partner's celiac. So, and yeah, like yesterday, like it was my turn, like it was my baby, but that basically meant that I spent all morning obsessing over this bread and whether it was proofing correctly and all the rest of it, and like, okay, is it ready to bake? How long am I baking it for? So, like, I think I underestimated how much, like, energy and problem solving that I'd already used up. So that by the time that I was coming to work, like, there wasn't much left. I think I also realised, like, it was a very bitty morning because of that. So, like, I was sort of, put the bread, to proof for another half an hour. Okay, well, I'll go and do this in that time. I'll go and do that. And, like, there was lots of just, like, waiting and plugging gaps, which I think then also meant that I found it really hard to transition into, like, working then, like, in the studio, because I was still in that weird kind of headspace of, like, transition-y. Do you know what I should have done? I should have gone for a walk at that point, shouldn't I? Because I feel like a walk always helps reset. Smashing myself. Like, reset your head. And also, I always find that, like, by the time I'm, like, walking back to the house, like, something's hit me. I'm like, right, this is what I'm going to do next. Like, this is the next thing I'm going to try. And it's like, as soon as I walk in the front door, then I'm like, straight to that activity. Okay, we're going to remember that then. So if we have those feelings again, we're going to go for a walk. And then when it came to the spinning, what I realised, I went into it with this sort of attitude of, like, okay, you've just got, a handful of fluff, just spin it a few different ways, see what it, seems like the wool wants to do, what's easy to do. Like, that's kind of what I do with every new fleece, is just have a bit of a play, just make little samples. I was trying to be good, like, oh, I'll write notes. I didn't write any notes, did I? But I think then what happened is that my brain, because of the last couple of months, like everything I've spun has been to try and sell. And so straight away my brain was going, but what do people want, and what's the profitability of what you're making? So as in, like, I know that I just can't spin fine. Like, it just, you know, if it takes me, I don't really want to talk too many numbers, but yeah, if it takes me like over an hour or two to make like 50 grams of yarn, like I can't sell that for what I would need to sell it for. So it was like, I don't know, it felt a little bit like the yarn was telling me to spin fine, but then I was like, yeah, but you can't make any money on this. And so I just kind of got locked, I suppose, in my head. And then I kind of used the excuse of going, okay, well, what are you going to weave with this yarn? And then I went, well, I don't know, what's it going to look like? Which then drew me to, okay, we'll set up the loom then. Like, you know, make it so that you can't just weave some samples, so that you've got this feedback loop so that I can, you know, spin 50 grams and then I'll probably go wash it and dry it, and then the next day weave with it and see what kind of fabric it makes. So that's why I then tried to do the loom, and then obviously I hit a new problem with the loom where I was then going, this, I haven't worked with this set before, I don't know if this is, you know, going to be good for anything. And I just couldn't answer that question there and there, which is really frustrating. So yeah, it was only at that point where I then went, maybe this is just not happening today. Maybe like I actually need rest. I didn't realise that I needed rest. I went and spoke to my partner, and he was just, and I was talking about productivity, you know, and was just like, don't feel like I'm being productive. And then he was like, but you've been filming, haven't you? And I was like, yes, okay. So then it's like, okay, well, at least that was an output, was to have the footage. So then I was just like, okay, fine, let's just take a rest for a little bit. I realised, like, I have this kind of sort of internal battle that I have when I'm kind of not sure about when to rest or not. Like, it feels like I want to respect the fact that sometimes my body does need rest, but I also know that almost feels like the easy default, and that there are times when actually you just have to push through. Like, and you don't need rest. And I'm trying to learn how to read the different signals and make that right decision. Yesterday I thought to myself, okay, we'll just rest for an hour. Like, so I took myself upstairs, you know, found some stuff to watch on YouTube, and was just like, just chill for an hour, then see how you're feeling. Like, you can always then go back to, you know, doing whatever. But yeah, I wasn't moving, so I clearly needed a break. And then we got into the spinning, the knitting headaches. Oh god. The problem is that I don't have any knitting projects right now that are like easy, that don't have any questions. I was knitting on a like 3-stranded colourwork yoke jumper for my partner, but I reached the end of the yoke, and then we tried it on and went, I'm not sure this is going to fit. Like, I'm supposed to already be splitting for the sleeves, and I was just like, I don't think I can. So then I got like a massive question mark about, like, I don't really know what to do next. I don't know whether I need to put in like a wedge of short rows or something. I think I need to film a podcast episode so I can like say it out loud, and then hopefully somebody comments with some answers. So yeah, so like that project I can't do, and then I was like, I decided to rip out a load of panels off my penguino because I just wasn't feeling the project anymore. Like, I just don't think it's the oversized snuggly cardigan that I wanted. So then I was ripping that out, which felt weird. And then obviously I started swatching to then see, you know, what to do with it. I started on a shawl and then was like, I don't know. And then I was like, I still kind of want a cardigan. And so then I tried for a cardigan and then that didn't feel right. I'm going to make this a podcast episode because I've got quite a lot to say about all that knitting. But yeah, basically there's nothing, like, I'm feeling very restless at the minute, you know, when I'm having these downtimes where I just want to watch TV or whatever. Like, I just want to be doing something with my hands. And I don't have an easy project, which is why a shawl would make sense, because it doesn't really matter what happens about the size and the gauge. Like, you just knit, don't you? Oh, okay, right. So, today, I'm going to come up with a better plan for today. The first thing I wrote was, do some work first and don't go baking. Even though we're getting more baking supplies delivered this morning, so the temptation's going to be quite strong. Right, I've written myself like a little thing. So I reflected about the loom and the warp on this guy. I did literally just walk away from him half dressed. I realised that I was seeing it the wrong way around. So I've never worked with a set like this, with like such a dense set. Right, so it's a learning opportunity. So I can actually experiment with this set. You know, I've got a box full of just random bits of yarn that I've spun at different weights, different styles. So just weave with it basically. And like, it doesn't matter if I decide that it's not, you know, if it doesn't go anywhere. Like, it's yeah, opportunity to learn something. So, and that was the whole kind of point of the next couple of weeks and slightly months, is like, I've got a bit of time to kind of do a bit more, like go back into like experimentation and product development and stuff. Like, I don't have to, like, every day doesn't have to be about churning out something that I can sell immediately. Like, I do need this time where I'm just playing. So we are going to finish getting that loom ready and maybe just grab bits from the sort of leftover box to just start playing and see what it's good for. I'm not ashamed of my shelves anymore. This is very exciting, isn't it? Okay, the next bit about the spinning. I've decided, like, I've only got a handful of yarn, a handful of fleece washed. I've got 2 whole fleeces and a bit of this breed, this whiteface woodland. So it's like, I don't need to be precious about it right now. Like, I can just do anything. Like, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spin what feels fun. Like, what feels nice to spin with, and what, when I look at the yarn, kind of, it doesn't matter if it doesn't like immediately provoke an idea. Like, as long as I look at it and I go, that's pretty cool, that's the right yarn to spin today. That's what I've decided. Also, slight ulterior motive is that I would really like to put a reel together today, showing that fibre, sort of the farm to fibre journey basically, because I've got some footage of some lovely sheep that hasn't made it to Instagram yet. So yeah, I want to actually film a little bit of vertical footage. This is like, trying to produce content for YouTube and Instagram when with this such like the aspect ratio of like 9:16 and then 16:9 means that I often can't really like reuse footage. Like, I have to have separate footage for whichever platform, which is a bit annoying. Kind of means that we've got to do a lot of things twice. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to just spin something, we're going to film it, we're going to edit it today and put that reel out this evening. And the last thing on my list is I have secured some paper bags, like massive like potato sack bags, from our greengrocer, well, like a refill shop in town. So I just need to go and collect them. that means then that I can sort out all of the fleeces that are in the shed, because I want to move the raw dirty fleeces into paper bags, so that they're breathable, but I can kind of seal them off so that I know like little bugs aren't getting in. And if it's not raining by the time I've got those bags, then it would be great to actually get stuff out of the shed, sort it out, bag what I can, and put it away. I was thinking about doing that yesterday, and then it like was mental rain, wasn't it, in the afternoon? So, okay, anyway, right, we've got a plan for today. We just need to go do something.